Okay, this is a lesson on how to use cofunctions and Pythagorean identities. There's actually a chart in your book or the notes that your teacher gave you. These are called cofunction. I'll explain exactly what it is, um, but you can't technically memorize these, but it's better to understand the concept. If you notice that the u's here are exactly the same, and this right here represents 90 degrees. So it's basically saying 90 degrees minus an angle equals the cosine of the other what? Other angle. So if you can memorize that sine and cosine are cofunction identities, you can just, write out your answer like that. Tangent and cotangent, secant and cosecant. So if you go over here, with your identities, you realize that tangent and cosecant don't go together. Not only that, pi over 7 and 5 pi over 14 are not the same. So what you want to do is use the cofunction identity to change one of them into the other. So this right here would be something like this. Tangents, well, I'm just going to use tangent for right now. Tangent of pi over 7 will equal what? Well, tangent and cotangent work together. So, oh, I see it right over here. If there's a tangent of u, then just do pi over 2 minus what? U. So this would be cotangent of pi over 2 minus pi over 7. Now, if you simplify this, you should technically get 5 pi over 14. So let's take a look. The common denominator is 14, and you put a 7 there, and then a 2, and voila, you get cotangent of 5 pi over 14. So you can replace the tangent square pi over 7 with cotangent. So 3 plus cotangent of 5 pi over 5 pi over 14 minus cosecant squared of 5 pi over 14. Okay, so now what is this equal to? What's cotangent squared minus cosecant squared of the same sign? Well, it's equal to basically -1. So this would be 3 plus -1, which is equal to what? 2. Okay. Now, if you really want to understand this in the right way, hold on, let me just double check everything. Yes, okay. So this is equal to -1. Now, if you want to understand what's really going on, you have to do some drawing. But let me just finish number 34 just for the sake of time. So we got 7 plus here. Let me erase that. And again, we're just going to change one into the other. So let's use secant. Let's change the secant, this one right here, into a cosecant with an angle 65. So if you notice secant, his cofunction is cosecant. See that? All right, so we have right now secant 25. So I'll put it right over here. And then you just do 90 minus 25, which happens to be 65. So secant squared 25 is equal to cosecant squared 90 minus 25, which is equal to cosecant squared 65. So what you do is you just take that, replace it with that, and you write 7 plus cosecant squared 65 minus cotangent squared 65. And using your identities, that's equal to 1. Because cosecant squared 65 is equal to cotangent squared plus 1. So this whole thing right here is equal to 1. So this is simply 7 plus 1 equals what? Equals 8. All right, now if that's enough, you can just stop it here and just, memorize the cofunctions. But what's going on is this. It's not that hard. Here's just one example. If this is a right triangle, if I said this to be like an angle, let's say 20 degrees, right? Well, the other one happens to be 90 minus what? 20. Because both angles have to add up to 90. If I label all three sides as A, B, and C, and I say, okay, what's the sine of 20 degrees? Well, guess what? It's opposite over hypotenuse, which is B over C. But if you look at his cofunction, which is that angle right over there, and you take the cosine of that, which is 90 minus 20, that will also be adjacent over hypotenuse. And notice B over C, they're the same. So that means sine of 20 degrees is equal to cosine of 90 degrees minus 20, Or you can write it like this. Sine of sun theta equals cosine of 90 degrees minus the same theta, which is basically the other angle. And if you want to use um, radian measures, this would be cosine of pi over 2 minus what? Theta. This right here is that. Okay, and then if you look at the other angle, you can write it like that too. So you just have to memorize sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant. They're all cofunctions, and as long as you have a 90 degrees being a degree being subtracted from 90 degrees, you could put that angle on the other at the other end. Okay. Also, just as an indication, always notice that 65 plus 25 will always add up to 90. 5 pi over 14 plus pi over 7 will again add up to pi over 2 if you do the math. All right, I hope that helps. Take care.